What's going on? I'm going to be talking about a quote that a lot of people talked about, but primarily the most notable person that talked about this was late Kevin Samuels. And basically, it goes in a fashion of, basically winter is coming, so, you know, all of your decisions prior, all of the choices that's made, hope you made a good decision because basically winter is coming. It is I'm in the Midwest. I'm in Indiana, pretty much Northwest Indiana. So it gets cold here quick. The summers are more short. It is pretty much officially like fleece jacket season, hoodie season. My furnace is kicking. It's serious, and if you've been living under a rock, you've noticed that it's been pretty much an uptick in crime, uptick in robberies, because basically, yeah, people that are, late on their rent, and moms and grandma and them, pretty much short on the rent, somebody's gonna, try to do something to get some money to cover that expense so they don't have to be on the street. So you're gonna get quite a bit of more, quite bit more crime, and not to mention, if you've been following me, we are in currently a Mercury retrograde. So, that's why a lot of stuff is like really, really, really crazy. A lot of times, if you notice, things are like really crazy. 9 times out of 10, it's something that is cosmic related. So right now, yeah, we are definitely in a Mercury retrograde. So fall was officially, I believe, yesterday, the fall equinox or whatever, or summer equinox or whatever, um, is in. So basically, yeah, it's getting ready to. I mean, I know a lot of people, they like this time of year. One of the things I like is that pretty much the damn bugs start dying out. I hate bugs. So like, yeah, some people like fall because they like to eat their little, drink their little, spice lattes and spice this and spice that, pumpkin spice. I'm not really a fan of that. I never really was. Um, Pumpkin pie is not really my favorite. My mom used to make that, but I ain't really a fan of pumpkin. Pumpkin seeds is alright, but and you know what, pumpkin seeds, if you going vegan, pumpkin seeds have a lot of protein in them. Um, so in a lot of other like health benefits, but definitely they have quite a bit of protein. So yeah, some people are looking forward to this. I ain't. Um, you know, I'm gonna talk about, basically what you have is this war in Ukraine that is pretty much is already brought gas prices up, and I think they're going to continue to rise. I mean, the energy company, they just like this right now, and they like putting their hands together because they about to make some bank. I mean, I told people months ago you should probably look into getting a furnace. I mean, not a furnace, but a wood stove or even a wood furnace. They actually, before modern heating, they used to have people used to rely actually on wood furnaces. So they would have them either outside or they would have it in the basement, and you would just feed the wood furnace for the day or the night, and it'll heat the whole house up well, and then it'll work off of a blower motor or something like that. Well, now people use natural gas furnaces, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I pretty much I've had a wood stove last season, last winter, and the prices are going up because see the thing is that people are becoming more green, so they're already less reliant on anything that's basically wasting energy or using energy that's non-renewable per se. So me myself is it's not so much that I'm like green friendly and all that type of stuff. I'm about saving green. I'm about saving money. And a long time ago, somebody told me for my job about wood stoves. And when I always said when I get a house and everything, I'm going to get a wood stove. And basically that's something that a lot of people, well, not a lot of people have, but some people do have. They have wood stoves in their house and they actually supplement their heating costs with the wood stove because all you have to do is basically heat up the wood stove. Most days it'll heat up the whole house, depending on how big your house is, depending on how much how cold it is outside. But you could get one wood stove in the main room in the house, and it could pretty much heat up the whole house. So the thing is, a lot of people are scared of fire. You know, people are scared. Of fire. So it's not something that I'd have to say most people are not really into that. But here's the thing, like as far as heating bills, you're gonna save a lot of money because this winter is gonna be nasty. I think this winter is going to be nasty as far as just overall and just as far as costs. This winter is going to be in my opinion very very challenging because you like I say you have the war in Ukraine driving up energy costs. Western Europe, they already getting slammed with energy costs. This thing is gonna be nasty. It's gonna be a lot of people. I wouldn't be surprised if it's gonna be a wood stove, pellet stove, because you also have pellet stoves. I wouldn't be surprised if it's gonna be a shortage because you're gonna have people that are going to not like paying 500, $700, $1,000 heating bills, because they trying to, keep warm. Now I know, some people that moved to Texas and all my exes moved to Texas and ain't nobody really trying to check for California. People are leaving California and going to, wherever besides California. And then also New York as well. They leave in New York. I don't even get New York, man. New York is this monster that I really don't understand. I understand Chicago, and maybe that's the same monster, the little cousin monster of New York. But I mean, basically, I just don't really get like the whole New York thing, like what. I just don't get it. Like I can understand California as far as like, okay, you got the sun, you got the beach, you got the nightlife, you got the, superstars, celebrities, entertainment. I mean, you got that in New York, okay, but it's cold as hell. It's like you don't have no, what I'm saying. Last time I was in California, I was in San Diego, and I was in January, I was still wearing a t-shirt. You can't do that in New York. That's not something that you could do in New York, okay? You definitely can't do it in Chicago. So yeah, I maybe sometime I'll get some time and go travel to New York and try to see what New York is about. I've been to Atlanta. I understand Atlanta very very well. I man, hey, Atlanta is like my second home as far as I know. If I had to move somewhere, Like that would be where I would go. Atlanta is definitely where I would go because like the weather just was just nice. The just the environment, I could just feel it in my bones. I could feel it in my soul. I mean, the women, they was checking me out. You know what I'm saying? I was with somebody and they were checking me out. So I was like, okay, I got to come back here, by myself. But yeah, I get Atlanta. Yeah, Atlanta definitely. But in New York, I really don't understand the whole thing. I gotta go there. Definitely gotta try the peace out because people in New York say the pizza is better in New York than Chicago. I gotta try to do a little taste comparison. But yeah, it's going to be something that is going to be very, very challenging for the people that like myself have never moved, still living in the Midwest. I got a family member that just moved from Florida to Minnesota. He boy, man, Minnesota. Like, okay, here's the thing. Everything north of, let's just say, north of Illinois, it just gets colder and colder and colder, right? So you got Wisconsin is actually colder than Illinois. If you thought Chicago was cold, okay, you ain't seen Wisconsin. You haven't seen, and then Minnesota is like right, anything close to the North Pole is just colder and colder, right? So you got Minnesota that's like on the tip of Canada. It's cold as hell. Okay, it is like cold. So yeah, I mean it's like shoot, you don't even want to deal with that type of cold. But yeah, people like in the Northeast, the Midwest, Northwest even gets cold, right? Everybody down south, man, they don't really have to really worry about like the weather like that. Only time they gotta worry about it is like if it's get like a blackout or something like that. Where what happened in Texas with the light the electric company, the reactor shut down because it was too cold. Um, Stuff like that, which was catastrophic. I heard a lot of stories of people died in that, but a lot of people just weren't prepared. They ain't had no generator. And then to be honest, even like if they had a generator, they couldn't get gas. So yeah, they just a lot of people just not prepared for that. But for the most part, it stays warm, Arizona, Florida. Florida right now is getting slammed because of tropical storm Ian. I looked at pictures of Fort Myers. Let me show a picture of Fort Myers, Florida, so you could get a gist of like how this look. This shit is like it's really really nasty. This thing, man. Them guys are going to have to. A lot of people are actually homeless. I'm definitely going to be talking about the homeless aspect of the whole winter is coming because a lot of people that in those areas that was hit by this hurricane Ian, they unfortunately are homeless right now because of that tropical storm. I mean, it just took everything out, you know. So yeah, it's like, man, this is something that people that, of course, if they had insurance, they could rebuild. But it's like, man, a lot of that stuff they can't take with them and they can't get back. But let me show this real quick. This video real quick. I mean, they got hit hard by all of the other places. I think they got hit the hardest or whatever. But this is what happened to this. Let's see here, to Fort Myers. So this is Fort Myers, This is Fort Myers, Florida, right here. Let's see here. So yeah, that's Fort Myers, Florida. Man, it looked like a couple missile strikes, man, just hit that place, man. Anybody that had like coastline property, all them businesses, man, they gonna have to rebuild. You know, they gonna have a challenge to rebuild. And then that's the thing, like a lot of times, like, people that are construction workers, they gotta travel. They give them a incentive to travel to rebuild those locations that be affected. They give them like a bonus, man, to rebuild like all of them electric lines and everything, cable, all that infrastructure has to be rebuilt. So people gonna travel to those locations because they're gonna offer them more money to rebuild those locations. You know, so yeah, but yeah, I mean, this is it's just a warning. In my theory, like, I just think that maybe Kevin Samuels was talking about a year. He was talking about last year, but I think he primarily skipped a year. I think this is the year of the winter is coming. This is going to be the year where it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough winter. And that's why a lot of people have moved to places that are warmer, I believe, too. Even if they didn't have the money, they stay where they were. Like, I mean, it's a well-known fact. Like, homeless people go from other locations and they go to California, and they go, a warmer area to live, because Chicago, they do have a homeless problem in Chicago, but it's not as bad as California. I mean, you gotta be really, really, really high, really, really just mentally messed up to be sleeping on the streets of Chicago. I'm gonna say, like, I mean, you got to be some kind of like strong beast of burden to deal with Chicago weather, Chicago winter, sleeping in some tent under a viaduct or wherever in Chicago, because it's just tough. And there's people that do that. And a lot of time, I'd say, I'd say about if I had to say, I'd have to say 90% of those people are mentally disturbed or both hooked on like shit, fentanyl mixed with heroin. Like, I mean, they strung out, because you gotta be like, I mean, it's, man, it just, trust me. I mean, you can't, like, Chicago is not designed for you to be living outside like that. Like, you know, most people, like I say, they travel somewhere else. I mean, you can even go to Louisiana and it's still warmer there than Chicago will ever be, or anywhere in the Midwest, for example. But I want to show actually some footage of this is like Oakland, California, and they have a big homeless encampment in Oakland, California, because Oakland is going through very serious levels of gentrification. Uh, they have been going through that for a while now, and they got like big encampments going on, and the whole thing, everything, everybody is like saying you know, pretty much the government is not doing anything about the homeless problem, because there is a quote unquote homeless problem in the United States. And I agree. I definitely agree with that. Um, it is definitely a problem. Um, but I've already talked about what should be done. What my theory as far as what should be done as far as the homeless problem in the United States, and it's the same thing I think that should be done about healthcare, and it's already done with healthcare. I think that housing should be a housing tax. What see so this is how Malaysia, right? Malaysia had a homeless problem sometime in the 70s or 80s, I believe, right? So what Malaysia did was they taxed their citizens heavily um they basically implemented a housing tax. That's what should be done here. Like, I mean, basically you should be taxed a certain amount for housing. You should be taxed a housing tax, and it just like Medicaid and Medicare. If you qualify for it, you get free health care, right, or whatever, right? And if you qualify for housing, you get free housing. Like, for example, a lot so basically right now as it stands, in case you just like somebody that's not from this country and they're not on the outside looking in, and they don't know how the United States works as far as housing, as far as how they deal with poor people and homelessness and stuff like that. So basically, and this is why a lot of people's call the United States or whatever a gynocracy, right? Because basically what happens is this is what happens. Now, in my me being a veteran, I will say I do have more say so as far as like I have more help as far as me being a veteran. But here this is how it works. So for a healthy male or even whatever age, unless you're elderly, let's just say from a healthy male from 18 to 58, you are on your own as far as housing. You don't get any help. It don't matter if you broke. You only would get help if you're disabled. That's how it works right now. Like, if you are a healthy male between the age of let's just say 18 to 58 years old, you do not get any type of like housing assistance or anything like that. Only access you have is a homeless shelter, if those are available. A lot of times homeless shelters, they are booked up and they have to turn people away because they don't have any beds available. Okay, so if you're and then also a single woman, women as well. If you're healthy and you're a single woman as well, you don't really get any help as well. This is why this goes into baby mamaism, right? You become a baby mama, second you have a baby, that changes. Now you can get emergency assistance. You can get fast tracked into a Section 8 voucher. A Section 8 voucher in this country basically provides some type of housing for assistance for primarily is for women with children and also disabled men and also women, of course, but primarily is known for women with children, poor women. Let's just say women below the poverty level or even above the poverty level with children. So this is pretty much the as far as quote unquote assistance that the government helps. Now, of course, like I say, you do have non for profits that pitch in, but they don't have the money and they don't have enough non for profits to actually aid, 300 million people in this country, right? So a lot of times people go without housing assistance in this country. So, and then that's why, like I say, I call this a gynocracy, because it's pretty much, if you, this government only really primarily centers everything around, this is also incentivizes women to be kind of like basically cows for the state to produce, children for the state, and then they fund them to, basically, like, just let's just say, for example, a single woman without children, she doesn't get any help. But second, and this is why this incentivizes a lot of women to actually have children as well, because you could basically go from a situation where you were living with your mother, living with family. If you had a child, basically you can go get, like I say, a fast track voucher, to where you don't even necessarily have to go sleep on the street or nothing like that. You could just basically go from, let's just say, living with your parents, you have a child, to 3 months you will be in a house or apartment with the Section 8 voucher. Now, here's the thing. A lot of times with Section 8 vouchers, the price of housing at one point peaked so high that the Section 8 vouchers became not not really worth that much. It was almost like, 50% off of a loaf of bread, because it just wasn't if the house is renting at, let's just say, 4 grand a month, and you have a Section 8 voucher for 1,500 or 1,700, well, you still have to pay, whatever the difference is, $2,300 a month. And a lot of people didn't have that. So you got some people in areas like, let's say, for example, New Jersey, the Northeast, like Connecticut, that were actually complaining, because they like, okay, yeah, I have a Section 8 voucher, but the housing costs are so high, I still can't afford to pay the difference. But like I said, that is how, tell me if I'm wrong, that is how the housing market is, as far as for assistance for people that need assistance. Now, if you're a veteran like myself, there are veteran housing assistance that is available for vets. I actually found that out in my local area by accident. I didn't even know that there was, like, lodging assistance for like homeless vets and stuff like that. But yeah, they have that, and then they have other assistance for vets. But like I said, everybody didn't sign up. Everybody didn't go to boot camp. Everybody didn't make it outside of boot camp, right? Everybody didn't go to the military, and not everybody wants to be, you know, not everybody's women, not everybody, wants to have a child and struggle and all that type of stuff, right? So it's like, it's a lot of people that don't get assistance out here. I'm just for somebody that's outside of this country, I just want to let them know this is pretty much how housing assistance comes in. And I'm gonna play this video, and I'm gonna run down what and I'm gonna play another video as well, but I'm gonna play this to show you, like, what's going on in Oakland, California. This is a recent video. They have like homeless encampments outside of San Francisco. I mean, Oakland. Now, I talked to a guy that lives in that area, Nino. He showed a video as well. It's on my video list, and we showed a video as far as the homeless people that are living in Oakland. It's really, really bad. Let me play this video. Shut up. I just can't help. I gotta point this out. Like, I still haven't got my Porsche yet. And why is it a Porsche truck? sitting on the side of a homeless encampment, right here. Shit. Somebody, I mean, either somebody maybe is trying to get some from some homeless chick or whatever. Or I mean, they literally the truck that I want is parked outside of a home. I just had to point that out. I mean, like basically, dude is you know, he drove a pretty good distance and to show how large this encampment is. And by the way, yeah, I cut my locks off. I call them struggle locks. And I mean, you gotta be you gotta have a lot of money, man, to deal with locks, in my opinion. Like, unless you got like a grade of hair where like it gets real nappy, I couldn't afford $60 every 2 weeks to retwist my locks, and I got tired of retwisting them, so I just said, off with it. But anyway, yeah, that was Oakland, California. I'm gonna show this is a side note, but this is Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, and this is basically, man, they got like a bunch of drug addicts on one street. This is crazy. I got to show this. This is a crisis. So this is Kensington Avenue in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania. And let's go. Let's improve the video quality for clarity. And a lot of these people are in fact homeless too, I believe. And the thing is, like, one of the things about Philadelphia, if you ever saw the movie, it's one of my favorite movies of all time, Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy. Like, he was actually homeless in Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like it looks like it's way worse than it was in the 80s, in my opinion. Maybe somebody from Philly could tell me, Obsidian.
Watch this. I can show you how to get the sweetest deals online when you shop from major retailers like Amazon and Target. You can drop prices
Fair use. So like what happens, like, okay, a lot of times, like especially heroin junkies or junkies in general, they stay not too far from where their drugs is. They just hang out not too far from the dope spot because that they want to get some money and get high again as quickly as possible. So they literally would just hang out where the nearest dope spot is, and I mean basically just so they can get high, like literally again and again and again and again. So anyway, this is what's going on in America. There's many places like that, unfortunately. But like I said, I mean, I've already said it. I mean, I think as far as the housing thing, it should be a tax. And if you implement the tax, basically if you qualify for it, if like you make less than $15,000 a year and you need housing benefits, like you just get housing benefits. You get like a housing subsidy just similar to a Section 8 voucher. Uh if you pretty much you get taxed off of your living space. Like if you need like a house, like you've already getting taxed for it. You can get a government mortgage. You already see these systems are already in place. Like you already have government backed mortgages. I think the FHA mortgage is a government backed mortgage. You already have Section 8. So I mean, basically, all you have to do is expand upon what you already have. Like if you getting taxed for it, it would just basically a tax would come out your check to pay for your mortgage directly. And then after a while, you would just basically get taxed less because you already own your house after you pay it off after so many years. And if you do that, basically you deal with the housing call, the homeless problem in one short arrow. You just deal with it real quick because Malaysia did it. They solved their homeless problem within a decade. They basically taxed all of this. They taxed everyone, and then basically from people that were low wage workers to high wage workers, after a certain period, like a certain amount, like people that already had housing, I mean they paid I'm sure they had it prorated as far as costs, but they actually did this and they solved their homeless problem. The thing about it, why it's a homeless crisis in this country, is primarily due to a couple things, and this is my opinion. One, it's because of mental health. Is a mental health crisis. Is a lack of adequate mental health services in this country. And then two, there's a drug epidemic that's going on in this country. A lot of people getting high off of fentanyl, heroin, crack, pills, right? and they not functional. So if you're not functional, you're not able to pay for, you're not able to take care of housing costs when you're not a functional adult. I mean, there's a lot of people that are functional, junkies or whatever, and they able to work and everything like that. But not a lot of people are, you know what I'm saying? So you have a drug problem in this country. And then third, it's just good old fashioned class warfare. A lot of times, like a lot of things in this country is designed for, basically you to have like problems. It's designed for you to just, you know, basically if you have problems, it's gonna be hard to overcome those problems because people that are elite and are wealthy and rich, they don't have the problems that you have as far as housing costs and stuff like that. They don't have those problems. So when you have elites that don't want you to, they don't want these things to be homogeneous, or they're not humane about homeless people and stuff like that. They don't care. They don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't think the average wealthy individual, they don't care about no goddamn homeless people. They don't want to help these people have live in some homogeneous society. They want it to be just like it is. Actually, I think they want it to be worse. you know they want to be like the the night king right here. They want you to just struggle and stay struggling, and then use as much credit as possible, work until you actually just utter die, right? I really do think that a lot of things are designed that way. Now there is hope. I mean, I think because a lot of those people are, let's just say, dead and gone, you know what I'm saying, and then they had children. Only hope is with their children. Maybe hopefully their children will listen to the broke genius. I'm sure some of you rich bastards are listening to me right now, or listen to my channel and sub to me. I got 5,000 subs. So I know some of you motherfuckers are rich as hell. Some of you out of 5,000 people, I know some of you motherfuckers are loaded. You know what I'm saying? So maybe some of you rich trust fund motherfuckers, um, you know, it's really not the people, it's policy. Okay, it's a policy related situation. It has to be a bill, and it's passed before Congress, then it goes to the Senate, and then the president signs it. So it's a policy thing that just needs to be kind of like upgraded. But a lot of times this country has a habit of not doing things like that. I've talked about this before on my channel. This is a very unequitable country when it comes to wealth distribution. I know a lot of people from other countries, they come over here and they want to come over here, but and you can make a lot of money if you keep your head down, you work, you stay out of the bullshit, save your money. You buy the Millionaire Savings Plan on Amazon or brokegeniuses.com. Yeah, you can make money. I'm living president. I bear witness to that. But I'll say this: as far as other countries, as far as the equity of wealth distribution, this country is not nowhere high under that chart. It's a lot of other countries that are very more equitable when it comes to wealth attainment. This country ain't one of them, and I've already talked about a few reasons why that is, and also why I think that it is. Like I said, I do think it's a lot of the elites, the oligarchs and plutocrats. They don't want those types of things to be implemented to where everyone has a utopian lifestyle of getting housing. Because I mean, this country, I will say, when it comes to food, that's why everybody is fat. I'm even my face. I'm fat in the face because it's food. Food is not a problem. It's food is no food shortage whatsoever. You can get as much food as you possibly can. But when it comes to housing, when it comes to like medical care, dental care, those things are definitely an issue. Those are a luxury. The more money you have, the better when it comes to those things, right? So, a lot of the reasons I believe that those are the way they are is because of just basically the haves and the have-nots. The haves don't give a hell about the have-nots, and that's how that goes. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, you know what I'm saying. It sucks, but knowing that, the sooner you know that and realize that is how you become that tough motherfucker. That these motherfuckers don't give a fuck about you, so you don't make them rich again, rich. You save your money and you make yourself rich, you make your family rich, and then when you know teach your children, you teach them, this is what you should do, this is how you should do it, and this is how you should treat others. And hopefully there's some type of spark of hope for the future. That's how you deal with that. And I mean, in my opinion, that's how I deal with it. Because I know these motherfuckers don't give a fuck about me. Okay? The motherfuckers don't give a fuck about how broke you are, how much you don't have a place to live or whatever. I mean, the only reason they care about women with children is because they need children to, you know, clean the garbage cans, for the future. You know, I mean, I hate to tell you, like, I ain't gonna lie to you. This is not a milk toast PC channel. This is pretty much a you know black pill channel, which is basically the absolute truth, unfiltered as possible. I mean, I hate to tell you anything different, but you know, it's really not designed for you to become comfortable and have everything you need to have. You got to work for it. You got to be very smart and cunning. More cunning than anything. Because you can work and make $10 an hour and work hard. That's not cunning enough. Got to be smart and cunning to be able to make some money, to be able to have some type of wealth, from this uh crunch cake of society that we live in. That's my take on it. I mean, if you thought I was gonna be going in on, you know, whatever, I mean, I would this that's not what I was talking about. I mean, that's obvious. If you don't have anybody to help you out, if you are, single, I mean, we're not designed to be single. So men or women, especially women, I mean, if you don't have someone to help you out, or somebody that you with, of course you're gonna be struggling. You know, I mean, it's just simple math. 1 plus 1 equals 2. One is always gonna be one, no matter how you ever, think about it. But anyway, I just wanted to hop on here, you know, just to remind you that winter is definitely coming.